Yo, what is up, everyone? It's time for my somewhat late first impressions and mostly more of a guide for Zyra. Now, she is an extremely powerful Heimerdinger 2.0, I suppose you could say, with massive range, super short cooldowns on her abilities. She's got great mana cost, very high sustain and burst damage, and she has some amazing utility. In fact, speaking of utility, you could even play Zyra as a support champion if you wanted to. I tried her out in a few games and I was able to actually build her quite well. I built into Death Cap later on into the game and did some work on people. So I don't know, she's not bad. She's definitely OP in my eyes, at least currently, based on her kit and the numbers and ranges and everything. However, she does still require a small amount of skill and knowledge to play her successfully, especially if they do decide to tweak her numbers in the future. So let's go ahead and check out how exactly she is best played, and we can learn from that, and that way you guys can be pro Zyra players, win all your games in solo queue when she's not banned. So in the laning phase, what you want to do is go ahead and pick up your Q first, and then take your W second. Very early on in the game, you can begin harassing your opponent and actually doing a lot of damage to them with your plants. What you want to do is use your Q right away and then place down your W right after you shoot your Q. That way they don't see the plant coming. It's a lot harder for them to notice it. And that plant's going to get a couple of pot shots off of them, and it's going to force them to move backwards, and it's going to zone them away from some XP and from some creep score as well. And that's kind of what you want to do the entire laning phase. So after you pick up your E, you can actually, if you land your E, go into a full combo, place down 2 plants on top of your Q, and really do a ton of damage that way, sometimes resulting in a kill as well if you do it properly. So just continue to farm up as much as possible. Don't lose any CS or waste all of your mana by frivolously throwing out spells. But when you see a chance, place down that Q and that W on top of your enemy, especially when you see them going in for a last hit, and that can really punish them greatly. So what I like to do is build boots, 3 potions, and then I'll go into 2 Dorans very quickly, and then I'll build into a Death Cap as soon as possible and Sork boots. Sometimes I'll pick up like Needlessly Large Rod, then Sork boots, or possibly a Blasting Wand and Sork boots, and then finish the Death Cap. Just kind of depending on what I feel I need to do. If I need to get that early game advantage, that extra magic pen is great, but as soon as you get that Death Cap, you're gonna have a lot of damage, so it's really good. Another thing you could do if you wanted to, if they have like double AP, a lot of AP on their team, is you could actually go for a quick Abyssal Scepter before your Death Cap, and that's if you're taking a lot of magic damage. So there's a lot of different options for her, but overall I like Death Cap as my first item. So seeds, they can be placed in the river, at least on one side. That way you can get yourself some potential vision and coverage from getting ganked by any kind of enemy jungler. I still like to buy wards and use those and just save my seeds for doing damage, but the seeds are very nice to have as those wards. You can place them, over the walls for vision at the race, and you can steal enemy race with your plants very easily. So at any chance you get, you should always be stealing those race. Zyra is probably one of the easiest champions in the game to get farm on, so you should almost always have the highest CS in the game without a doubt. Now, if you use Zyra's E, which is her root, to sprout your plants, those are going to be melee plants, so that's something big to keep in mind. They have not very much range at all, but if you lock someone down, it's going to put a nice little slow on top of them, and it's going to make it very hard for them to walk away from that. And so in some cases, if you're able to lock someone down with that slow in a crucial choke point where they have to run through it, it's definitely nice to have those instead of the long range ones. Normally you're going to want to do the long range plants, as that's going to help you do the most damage possible. As far as your passive is concerned, you want to take your time and you want to shoot that properly. If you actually push the spell early, it'll shoot it no matter if you're ready for it to go off or not. Once you move on to more of the mid game, you can actually start clearing back waves with your E and then hitting a Q on the front wave minions, so you can clear those as well. With your ultimate, you should now be able to easily 100% to zero anyone without a lot of HP or resist just by landing your ultimate and your 2 plants into a full combo. So ganking isn't too difficult. You have that long range root. You can land that on somebody and place down your plants in the direction that they're going to be running away. Even land an ultimate if necessary, and you can just completely clean people up, no problem. So definitely try and do some roaming if possible after shoving your lane a little bit. Even if you're not having one of the best games and you continue to get ganked and you die a lot, try and just focus on farming as much as possible, and eventually you're going to be really strong in a team fight just based on your farm alone and the items that you get and the amount of utility that she has, and you'll be able to completely demolish people eventually. So don't get discouraged if you're doing bad early on. Moving into late game, your build should include a Rylai's in order to have your plants be able to slow down enemies as well, your ranged ones, and then you don't have to worry about using your melee plants for that slow. Zyra is fairly easy to position in the back of fights to avoid taking damage, but the extra HP is also nice to have. An Abyssal, Void Staff, Zhonya's, and potentially even a GA are also going to work well as very, very in-game choices if you get to that point. I take pretty standard AP carry runes and masteries, 2109 for my masteries. And on runes, I'll do red magic pin marks. For yellows and blues, I'll do ability power per level. And for the quintessences, take 15 flat ability power. And that's going to give you the most strength possible. A lot of late game is all about positioning and using your spells wisely to both benefit your team as well as take out the correct targets. Your goal should be to catch people in team fights with your E and use your stupid long range for poking. Position yourself well and avoid being caught. Then land your ultimate on at least 3 or more enemies in team fights for maximum effect. Also, always remember to throw down your plants in fights as they do a lot of damage in the chaos. So the best thing to do is to try and decide between peeling with your root for your AD carry or whatnot, or just bursting down their squishies based on whatever your team's strengths are or the particular situation you're in and what your enemy is doing. So anyways, no matter what you decide to do with Zyra, no matter if you decide to play her as an AP mid or as a support, she's an extremely fun champion, and it may take you just a couple of games to get all of her combos and everything about her just right, but I think right now she's about as close to free elo as I've gotten in a long time. Hopefully you've gained some knowledge out of watching this video and at least enjoyed yourself. So if you did, please hit that like button to let me know. Lay a comment down below. And if you want, stick around for some more Zyra gameplay footage with some music. If not, I'll see you guys around for the next one. Peace out.
As soon as I arrive home, yeah, I moved on. Some things in life are too simple. Some things in life are too simple. I don't really want to drive home, but as soon as I arrive home, yeah, I moved on. Some things in life are too simple. Some things in life are too simple. Too simple. Some things in life are too simple. Some things in life are too simple. I don't really wanna drive home, but as soon as I arrive home, yeah, I moved on. Some things in life are too simple. 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 Too simple.
Yo, subscribe to my channel or check out some of my other videos. Peace out.